the keys to victory here for the
Keys.
Giants. Because listen, guys, the Giants are big underdogs, and we will get into the the exact picks and the spreads and that kind of stuff tomorrow on our picks episode. Shameless plug. But today we need to talk about the actual football game itself, not the betting action here. So, keys to victory for the Giants. The first one, and this is a big one here, guys. Take away Jayden Daniels' mobility. This kid is really good on the run. This kid is a guy who's just point blank good at improvising when he has to. And I always think that the best way to get a mobile quarterback in a funk, so to speak, is to take part of what makes him special away. And that's what makes him special, point blank, is his ability to go ahead and move around.
He is a new age gunslinger, is what he is.
Yes.
Like, usually when you say that, you think about a Peyton Manning, you think about a Brett Favre. But he's a guy that gets out of the pocket sometimes when he needs to and will still throw the ball. Like, he's a little better throwing it into coverage, but like he is a guy that will move the ball. He doesn't like typically run down the field as much as some of these mobile quarterbacks, but he's a mobile behind the line.
Yeah.
And to take that away, which is what you do with any gunslinger quarterback, if you take it away, it puts pressure on him and take away his ability to move.
Yeah. And you force him to play in a style he doesn't play usually. That's what it boils down to. So, second thing, listen, guys, the Commanders, if they are like they are last year, and again, week 1, you never know what's going to be. Commanders averaged 28.5 points per game last year. That was 6th best in the NFL. So it was a really good offense. We talked about it. They improved the offensive line. They've got gone on had Demo Samuel now to be their second wide receiver. So, got a second year of Jayden Daniels, which always has the potential to improve. Like, it could even be a little bit of a better offense than it was last year. The Giants, point blank, and this is going to sound like a cop out almost, because I always make the joke when people say, "What's the key to victory? Score more points." Like, yeah, that's what you do. You score more points, and all of a sudden you win a game. That's what happens. But the Giants are going to have to put up some points, guys. There's nothing. Listen, I don't care how good this defense is. When you are talking about a team that usually puts up almost 30 points a game, you can't put up 12 points and expect to win.
Yeah, and you said they averaged 20. Right. They averaged 28, right?
28.5 points.
28.5 points. So with us, they averaged 24 points last year. So like,
yeah,
we had the ability with less of the defense we have now and the high power offense to keep them down. Like, yeah, score more points, and that's your defense. Rock this quarterback and let them not put up as many points.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I'm kind of looking at. Like, okay, and again, year to year, everything changes. We always say that, especially the first couple weeks of an NFL season, so you don't know fully what you got. Year to year, it changes. But here's what I'm looking at is, again, 28.5 points. So let's say hypothetically the Giants keep them down to, let's say, like 20 points or 17 points. And that's a really good, a really good defensive showing at that point for that team. If you only put up 14 points in offense, that doesn't matter. We have to put up points. We have to put up legitimate NFL offense points. And again, I'm not saying 30 points like I'm saying that this team could do. We've seen it. But in the end, you got to go ahead and put up 20, 25 points a game at least to give this defense a shot to hold them down enough for us to win. Like, you can't be putting up 14 points like we were doing last year, 17 points.
Yeah, I mean, I think I forget the average last year of the winning teams was, I think it was like 22. It was like one of the lower years of points put on the board, but as you're looking up, it's like 22, 24.
So 21.8 was 23. It went down to 21.4 last year.
So yeah, you put up that 24 points, 25 points, like Drew said.
Yeah,
you won a lot of games, especially with I mean, once again, If your defense doesn't allow points on the board, you get away with that, but you don't want to risk it. And with this offense, if we're averaging 17.8, I think last year, something like that.
I can look it up here real quick.
You definitely have the ability with more talent around you to get some more points.
16.1 points per game, the Giants, ranking 31st out of 32nd. Yeah.
They weren't last.
Yeah, we weren't quite last. But that's what I'm saying. We just got to be legitimate seeing the defense, the offense do their part of the job too as well. Next key, and this kind of goes along with the very first key, to be honest there. Get to the QB early and get to him often. We said before about Jayden Daniels. He's about 15 pounds undersized. He's only 210 pounds. But average quarterback in the league is 225. We did very well against the Commanders in the past. Week 2, we sacked him 5 times, which was the most he was sacked all year long. So the Giants have had some success. But we talked about it, though. This is a new offensive line here for the Commanders there. They've really changed both tackle positions here. And they've gone ahead and changed it out there and upgraded spots, especially Laramie Tunsil. That's a huge upgrade. Let's not lie about that. Like we call it out like it is, regardless of what team it is. Laramie Tunsil is a massive upgrade at the left tackle position. He's one of the very few tackles in the league that even you could say is potentially better than a healthy Andrew Thomas. It's a legit statement. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but it's a legit conversation.
Yes. That's very fair.
Yeah. So we're going to have to do it. And I think the big guy who has the big game here is going to have to be Dexter Lawrence to a certain degree to push that middle, because that's where they're more susceptible. I think if you push him in the middle at that point, maybe you put Abdul Carter, the off-ball linebacker, have him blitzing up the gut as well. And all of a sudden you create pressure from spots they can't control it. And that's going to force him outside at that point, which is going to give the option for Thibodeau and Brian Burns to potentially clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm curious to see what they do. I think having Tunsil week 1 is something I actually enjoy, because I want to see how this team does against a top tier left tackle. So, we got a couple of early on tests here for some new Giants as well. Paulson and Debo going against Terry McLaurin. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Again, we've said coming off a broken leg. Like, I don't know if somebody wished him good luck before a game or something, but he's got a tough task week 1. Terry McLaurin, while we've said before, he's not going to be the guy to go. He's one of the best wide receivers in the entire game. Like, he's not going to be the guy to have a 15, 16, 1,700 yard season. But he's a consistent 1,000, 1,100 kind of yards guy. He's like Mike Evans without the touchdowns.
I just saw it fair because Mike Evans has Mike Evans at least has some better quarterback play.
But he's consistently a 1,000, 1,100 yard guy. Yeah. He's not in the 15, 16.
Terry got that off of Howell. Like, he's got that off.
I get it, and that's what I'm saying.
Play.
He's a legit guy. I just think he's a B tier receiver. He's not an A tier receiver. And that's not a disrespect when I say that, because that's still B. I mean, if you look at what he's done, rookie year, 900 yards, then 1,100 yards, 1,000 yards, just under 1,200 yards, just barely over 1,000, and just under 1,100. So I'm saying he's not the guy that gets 13, 14, 15, 1,600 yards. He's not Chase. He's not even A.J. Brown. He's not CeeDee Lamb. He's not, Malik Neighbors. Like, he's not that kind of category. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not, I can go on and on. Receivers that are better than him. I would even say I would take a St. Brown over him. Tyreek Hill, if it wasn't for last year, you would say that as well. Puka Nacua, I would take over him.
He's in Puka category. Well, but he's got more. He's got more thread. I would say Scary Terry is like an A-. To put him, say, straight B, is like a
B+. How about a B+? We'll meet in the middle.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
B+. I'm just saying.
He's like a.
It's a good week though task for him. I think
it is because listen, if you're going to fantasy, like, let's go back to the fantasy world, and you're drafting in a 12-man league, he's probably your top 10 top 12 going off the board receiver.
Texas age at Fantasyland.
I win fancy money, which equals real money.
Oh my gosh. Now Adebo though is not the only guy who has a legit task that first week here. Last year was a big resurgence for a guy that a lot of people thought was washed up, and Zach Ertz, former Eagle tight end, went to the Cardinals for a couple years, went to the Commanders last year. 654 yards and 7 touchdowns as a tight end. That's a legit season, guys. You know, they may not be Travis Kelce-esque numbers or something like that, or George Kittle, but that's a legit tight end number for a guy who's been doing it in the league for a long time. One of the biggest additions we had this offseason was Javon Holland, who point blank was brought in for his coverage abilities. This is a good first test to see what Javon Holland does, having to cover a guy who's a very, very crafty tight end. And I don't mean what a Joanne. I mean, he's crafty. He's got that guy that finds a way to get open. He's obviously lost a little bit as far as his speed and stuff like that because he's getting up there. But he just runs such good, solid routes at that point. Just knows how to find a way. So, I'm curious to see Holland on Earth specifically. I don't know if they're going to put him on there exclusively, but that's what we brought him here for, point blank, guys. Is because he's supposedly a very good cover safety. So I'm very curious to see that matchup specifically. One last thing that I have here for you guys. We got to get a running game going. Like that was something that if you want to go ahead and stop a high-powered offense, you know what you do? You slow it down.
Slow the game down.
2 reasons for that. 1, you're going to win the time of possession. 2, you're also going to go ahead and give your defense a rest. So they come in nice and rested against the offense next time around. So we're going to need a big game here to Tyrone Tracy. That's point blank who guys we need to have a big game off of. Now, I will also include Scatterbo in the mix. I will include Motor in the mix. Like we need it all around. I would say Russell Wilson, but he might break a hip.
Broke a hip thinking about it.
I know, but he's just not the guy he used to be as far as running wise, But like I said, I think that's where it is. Is we got to go ahead and see a running game going, so that way we can control the clock. He who controls the clock controls the game. And that also includes Tracy. Hold on to the goddamn ball. So I have to include that as part of it. Like he's got to not just be a good running back. He's got to be a running back who holds on to the ball. Like I don't know if he's got to hold go have lunch with Tiki Barber and Tom Coughlin. But it's got to get done. Not that I think Tiki and Tom Coughlin would go to lunch together.
Not anymore.
A little more than anyway. All right, guys. We're gonna get to the rest of the comments here. If you guys have other additional keys to victory you want to add in, go ahead and add it on to the comments there. Also, thank you all for all encouraging and trying to bully people into hitting the like sign there, the thumbs up there. If you haven't already, guys, do a favor, do that because that definitely does help us out big time as far as telling YouTube to go ahead and spread that out to other people there. Let's see here. Where we go? Okay, here we go. H-Town, Texas says for the Giants only be 6 points, it might be closer than many think. The Giants are going to have to prove to people they're a new Giants team. You can look at it as a Giants fan, look at it as an immediate person that goes to the training camp, because a lot of people that don't work for the Giants said point blank the Giants have a different feel and they felt like a different team this year.
Well, true. I mean, we're talking about getting out of here and reading the comments, but there's something that we forgot to do. Speaking about that,
what's
your final prediction of the game?
Where to get to that? I was going to get to the comments, give people a chance.
Oh, jeez. How people were commenting about that? All right, whatever. Let's go.
For the guy who wants the whole Jackson Dart back for 5 years.
Oh, stop. Jesus Christ. Half a year later.
You said a year and a half later. Anyway, Sean said, I agree with you.
No, it'll be half a year after you said. So
Tim usually has played well against Washington in the past, too. Let's see. He also says, H-Town, Texas says, highest coming team in the preseason. Hopefully it translates into the regular season. We'll see. We'll see. Anthony says, "Oh, there we go." The more pill people like. Let's see. Jason's hype preseason means nothing. Yeah, I mean, listen. At least it lets him go in with a positive attitude. Don't ever talk down the power of positivity or Huey Lewis's power of love. He says, "Unless it's Dart." LOL. See, he's playing the homer out there. H-Town Texas says, "I meant scoring team in the preseason, and Dart isn't the answer against the schedule they have to face. He will get his whole confidence shattered, served on a plate." We'll see. I mean, that's the thing. Everything you do with a rookie quarterback is a gamble. Every single one. You know? Jay says, "It feels like 10 years ago since we used to beat the commies every time. It's only been a year." We almost beat them last year both times, guys. It's not like they whooped our butts. And let's be very frank, they were a much better team than us last year.
Hey, listen, we should have beaten week 1 and when it can't, or week 2, but when it came to the second meeting, like it was close enough. There were just a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not having a kicker really hurt us.
Well, that's week 1. Week 2. But yeah.
Jace's Tunsil overrated. Doesn't he get a shitload of penalties? Let's say yes, he does definitely get an overabundance of penalties compared to most tackles, but he's still a damn good tackle. H-Town says the secondary will have to hold this game. Daniels is good with pressure in his face, and we have to stop the run. So that has been an issue. Now, listen, I would not be shocked. I haven't scrolled down to see the rest of the comments yet. I wouldn't be shocked if some of y'all say point blank that stopping the run has to be one of the keys to the game as well, because quite frankly, it's the one thing that the Giants have not looked good at last year on defense before everybody got hurt, and did not look necessarily very good at that the preseason. The only reason I didn't have that on the list point blank is because I don't think they have really good running backs. Like, it's not what they do. They're going to be a run team. They're going to be a pass team. That's going to set up. They use the run, and that's set up by the pass, basically. Run the ball occasionally to throw you for a loop. But who knows? I could be wrong. Again, Brian Robinson had 133 yards on other day. I think I was at 133 yards. Look at my notes here.
133. 132.
That was like a quarter of his yards for the season. Like, that's, so who knows? Who knows? But I just think, to me, stopping Jayden Daniels is like number 1, 2, and 3 on a list of things to do. Jay says, "Great take, H-Down." So Jay says he's a middle of the road wide receiver 1. Yeah, I mean, that's accurate. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to knock him. He's still a damn good player. I'd take him on our team in a heartbeat. But he is definitely not an elite wide receiver. That's all I'm saying. So Jay says, so we paid this dude a ton of money, and he's going to have trouble with an old tight end. I don't know. But again, almost 700 yards for that old tight end last year. That's a pretty damn good season. We're all excited about Theo Johnson, his 400 yards.
Yeah.
Let's like I said, we can be Giants fans and still be realistic about another team. Zach Ertz is a quality tight end. He may not be elite, but he's a quality above average tight end in this league. He's a Terry McLaurin of tight ends.
That's fair.
Like I said, he's right around that top, that middle of the road tight end 1. H-Down says Tracy should have had more touches per game last season. He is a good player and a weapon for us. I think he was actually battling an injury that never really got disclosed fully, to be honest with you guys. And that happens every year, that you don't hear about stuff, and then all of a sudden you find out. We talked about it with Bobby Okereke. He was battling an injury before he got out. I do think that, just based on how he was playing, but we'll find out. Maybe that'll come to pass whether we find out that kind of information. Jason, I think it was the fumbling. That's another possibility. I don't think the fumbling it's an issue, but I don't think it's enough of an issue where they're going to stop trying to develop a rookie running back.
Yeah.
Tyler says, who do we have to stop the run this year? Any improvements? Listen, they got an improved defensive line, that's for sure, I think, than last year. I'm not talking about the edge rushers. I'm talking about the big fatties up front there. Obviously bringing back Nacho and Dexter Lawrence, but having Roy Robertson Harris on there, having Darius Alexander, who I expect will get better as the season progresses. Having a healthy also Bobby Okereke from the linebacker spot is going to help him stop the run as well. But again, as you said there, it's been a weak point. Damn straight, it's been a weak point. As Jason's Darius Alexander laughing. Listen, I know it. He hasn't looked the best in the training camp. He's coming from a small school. He's going to take a little time to develop, I think. I still am not giving up on Darius Alexander. I can't do it. Can't do it. And Tyler says they're starting Nacho over him. No. Yes, they are. They're starting him. And Tyler says, who are we going to have stop the run? That's what we've got. It is what it is for now. Jay says we won't. He said we get hammered every year. Tyler says this pass rush will go to waste if we give up 5 yards per carry. We'll see. I mean, part of what it's going to have to be is the guys that we're counting on for the pass rush also have to play the run. They can't be one-dimensional. Like Dexter Lawrence has to be a big part of clocking up that middle. Burns and Thibodeau have to set that edge. They can't just get a sack a game and be happy and think they did great and play Yannick Ngakoue style. Jay says lots of beers and rushing yards given up. Well, always lots of beers. As he says, keys of the year. Jay says, I just feel like there's gonna be a critical flaw this year that will tank us. Inside offensive line or run defense. It's hard to Rob, am I crazy for saying I don't think there is a way to tank us necessarily because we played so bad last couple of years that let's be honest here, guys. We can go 7 wins and we'd be happy.
I mean,
I'm not saying that's the goal, but I'm saying we could win 7. We could win 7 games and go 7-10 and go. You know what? We got some improvement.
Well, yeah. I mean, besides going to the playoffs, our last best season was 6 wins. So, you want to look at it past 2 years, we had 9 wins. So if you go 7,
hope we can win a game.
you go 7, it's way better.
That's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, the bar is set so low. That's what it boils down to. H-Town says just leaving the game healthy is a win because we can't afford no crazy first game injuries. It's teams losing O-line to U-line to injuries in practice. So healthy is the key, especially how Thomas pans out. 100%. As Tyler said, both. Jay says JMS is going to break out, and obviously being facetious here. Tyler's laughing at him here. Tyler says, wasn't Burns hurt all year last year? Yes. And played through it and played very well through it. A little slow start the first couple of games. We called him out a little on that, but he definitely, week 3 or 4, all of a sudden he kind of turned a corner and started doing his thing. So Jay says, you got to be an above average player to go have an acronym. I'm sick of this stuff. Well, we go by just your first initial and Jay. I mean,
are you above average?
This is RRH JMS ISM. Guillermo says, I hope Chapman gets some reps. He's got potential. He's on the practice squad. So unless he gets called up for the active duty there for that week, he's on the practice squad. So unfortunately, I like to see him get some reps. But I don't think he's the answer either the run defense thing we were talking about earlier. He's more of a pass rusher / fullback kind of guy. Jay says he needs a second last name. Would have given him a roster spot. Stop. Oh my gosh. All right, Rob, you want to go ahead and give your predictions here for the week 1 here for Washington Commanders?
I've gone back and forth on this game, and I just decided to go on a limb here. I do think it's going to be a nice nitty-gritty game, a fun game to watch. That's what they've done back and forth. No matter how bad one team was compared to the other, they've always played pretty much within a touchdown of each other. And I do think that's what's going to happen again with week 1. And there's a lot of changes to both teams here, but I do think the Giants could squeak this out here. And I think it's going to be a little odd here. I think it's probably going to be a 30 to 25 game with the Giants win. I think it's going to be a 2-point conversion miss kind of style game, and with one team trying to go with the next. And I think Giants win. I'm going to go that 25 to 30.
So, listen, I'd love to be optimistic and tell you guys we're going to win. I have to go realistic when I'm giving you guys my predictions. And the Giants can definitely win this game. Do not get me wrong. The Giants definitely have a legitimate shot at winning this game as well. Like, I'm not saying that we're going to lose no matter what, and this is just done. I'm going to say point blank the Giants will lose this game 24-21. It's going to be that kind of close game. Listen, I have too much uncertainty with Andrew Thomas. That's my biggest obstacle for me right now. There's a lot of things I just don't know in general. Like, is Theo Johnson going to play? There's a lot of things we don't know. Now, we will get into the injury report, by the way, tomorrow for you guys, just to give you a heads up on that. So, but like I said, I think we barely lose this game. I think we keep it close, and we always do with the Commanders. We barely lose it. And listen, we said it before, Commanders are a good team. Like, it's not going to make us happy to lose, but it's not oh my God, this is the end of the world, we lost to the Commanders. Like, it's not that team anymore, guys.
I mean, through the years, the Commanders have been one of those teams. Washington's been one of those teams that we've always played pretty well for the most part. And win or lose, it's always a close game.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm expecting here.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be a close game. Like, it's a divisional rival. That's what it always is there. So, all right, let's see. H10 says Robinson is the 2 wide receiver. Will he be able to find himself easy looks with Slayton as deep threat and Bleak the double team? Yeah, I mean, the big thing is, can he catch the ball? He always gets open. It's a matter, can he catch the ball? And that's one thing he's going to have to work on if he wants to be a legitimate starting wide receiver for the next couple of years in this league. Because if he has the oopsies, dropsies like he had last year, it's going to be an issue. And he already had the one in the preseason. Killed the drive. I'm going to harp on that one until he does good. Go Big Blue says, when was the last year that injuries wasn't our biggest obstacle? I would say 2011.
Yeah.
He's not wrong with that. I mean, I don't know the exact year we haven't had the massive injuries, but it's been forever, that's for sure.
That's
yeah. Jason's 5'9" quarterback, throwing to a 5'6" wide receiver is going to be tough. Yes, it is. Jason's Rob pandering to the fans.
Nope. Listen, guys, bet me wrong.
Yeah. Jason's, I think this game is pretty much a coin flip that we will lose in excruciating fashion. Well, I mean, whenever it's a close game, it's going to be that one play. You're like, if this one thing didn't happen, we would have won. Like, that's what happens in close games. That's the aggravating part about it. And let's be honest, the Giants always have been known for playing close games. Like, they really have. So it's usually not a blowout for us. It's occasionally a blowout for the team with the injury issues we've had the last couple of years, but a lot of times it's close. So we'll see what happens. So
thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you.